Top five, top five, top five.
Cinetalk, we're back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 serial killer movies in honor of Maxine coming out. Chris Ramirez, that's the background of that movie. I like talking about A24 movies. I like talking about the Maxine X Ty West Mia Goth trilogy.
I just want to say, I have not seen X or Pearl, but I saw the trailer for Maxine, and now I'm 100% going to watch this movie because I want to see that in the theater. It looked
you want to borrow?
So good. Sure.
That was, Marissa really likes horror movies, and we watched that, and she was like, alright.
Yeah.
Fuck with it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, that's why we're doing top 5 serial killer movies. So I'll tell you how that works, then we'll get into it.
He's going to give his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3-2, 3-2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, then we only talk about it once.
Number 5 for your boy is going to be, ironically, not 5, because it's 7.
No, it's Zemeckis.
Ooh, cool. Number 4 will not be a Zemeckis because he said he hasn't seen either of these. And I feel like it's the same serial killer, technically.
So you put them together?
Put them together. Pearl and X. Just the person that Pearl is, where she resorts to murder, and then you fast forward. I'm ruining these movies for you.
No, you're fine. I just thought of a movie that I might have, could have squeezed in as a serial killer movie, but...
Info.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what it is.
Well, it's not on the list, but
so,
we'll talk about it later.
The reason why she's killing in Pearl is different from the reason why she's killing in X, which just means she has an affinity for killing people. She enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
She uses blank reason of her depression, her struggle in life as an excuse to commit murder because she enjoys it. So, because of that, and her long tenure of serial killing, I had to put her on the list.
Makes sense.
She's a phenomenal serial killer. You did all that and didn't get caught?
Good job.
My number 5, I'll be honest, I don't like this movie. I put it on here
Zemeckis.
out of respect. American Psycho?
Yep, I knew it. As soon as you said,
yeah,
I don't like this movie, I was like, Zemeckis.
Well, honestly, I'm willing to bet that my number 4 might also be a Zemeckis, because it's Silence of the Lambs.
Zemeckis.
Cool.
Number 3. This is one I definitely don't think is on your list. We actually might have more in common than we thought. We were talking about that beforehand. We do that a lot.
This is your number 3?
Number 3 is going to be M.
Okay, so that means there's a movie that's not on your list that blows my fucking mind, but okay.
That's Zodiac, probably. M, to me, is such a new, different portrait of a serial killer. You follow a child murderer who gets a M put on his back for murder, obviously, and the whole city is tracking him down, trying to find who he is so they can kill him. And this is the first, which is crazy because it's like 1930s, but it shows a sympathetic side to a serial killer, that there's something inside of them that is wrong. And even though they do commit these acts, some of them they don't want to. It's just an urge they have that they have to get rid of. And it's mind-blowing because of the time period it came out. But also so well acted. Peter Lorre, he's played serial killers in other movies, or murderers in other movies. He's played the scummy person in other movies. But this, I think, is his best performance, just because the range it has of this sick fucking beginning, and then you see him break down and really make you feel bad, damn, don't let him off the hook, but get this guy some fucking help.
Yeah.
I think that range, and then the serial killer becoming the hunted, and the panic, the performance is dumb phenomenal. And just a different viewpoint of a serial killer movie.
Yeah. I've thought of like 3 other movies since we started talking about this that aren't on my list. I'm not going to change it because I don't know that I really considered this one. But, and I'm asking because it might not be. What was Max Cady a serial killer?
No.
We're on my number 3.
Actually, we're on my number 2, which is Years of Mecca, Silence of the Lambs.
Which I was about to say, which one?
This is one of the greatest directed movies of all time.
It's debatable.
Acting is off the fucking charts. You go to a serial killer to help you find a serial killer, and Buffalo Bill, Hannibal Lecter, that performance is fucking legendary. Dialogue, top 10. 10 out of 10, I mean. Top 10 of what? Who knows? Top 10.
10 out of 10 Wangs.
10 out of 10. Performances, 10 out of 10. I mean, it's been, Anthony Hopkins especially has been parodied so much that it kind of like, The Mask and everything, they used it in Scary Movie 2 or 3. It kind of, not weakens it, but I feel like people sleep on this movie a little bit. First horror film to win Best Picture. Very iconic, very great.
Is it horror? It's always seemed more psychological thriller to me.
Agreed, but they just throw it all in that category.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Silence of the Lambs, I think, is a top 25 movie of all time.
Really?
I love that movie. I think it's vastly underrated.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said about it, except for it being underrated. I mean, it is really great performances.
That's my opinion!
I will also happily admit, I probably need to rewatch this movie. I don't think I've seen it since I was like 16. And I remember a ton of it, which I think says something about the movie, that I watched it that long ago and so much of it like sticks with me and stuff.
I agree, but your film IQ is totally different.
But, so it's, yeah, I just kind of think this movie's kind of boring. Like, has a hard time holding my attention.
You were 16.
Okay. I'm telling you what I remember about the movie.
You
told me to make a top 5 serial killer movie list, and I made a top 5 serial killer movie list. Like,
this shows a table in front of me.
It's okay. That's how I'm going to feel when I get to my number 1. That makes no fucking sense to me that movie's not on your list. Yeah, it's a good movie. With like one of the most memorable performances of all time, which, you know, doesn't save the whole movie to me. My number 3 is The Little Things. Yeah, you like that movie.
Oh, I really like that movie, yeah.
Yeah. If I could never possibly see American Psycho being higher on my list than it is. If I rewatch The Silence of the Lambs, I could see it being over The Little Things. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I didn't understand why.
A lot of people.
It's like,
no one liked this movie except for me and you.
We like that. I know people who liked that movie.
I
thought the movie was really interesting. Is it like someone very clearly doing a David Fincher imitation? Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's like, to me, it was better than the Reptile, which is another someone doing a David Fincher imitation. But like,
it's just Reptile, it's not the Reptile.
Whatever, man. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. I mean, Denzel is pretty good in almost every movie he's ever been in, even if the movie's not. Rami Malek, super interesting. And man, there's no other person that you could put on the screen that is ever going to be as creepy to me as Jared Leto.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, if you want me to just instantly think, that guy, he fucking did it, then like, make it Jared Leto. I'm going to be like, yeah, he did it. Like, the guy who started his own cult in real life, yeah, he's probably the killer. But this movie kind of subverts that a little bit because it kind of leaves it open to whether or not he actually was. And yeah, I think the performance...
He wasn't.
Huh?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think he was.
Well, yeah, but that's
what do you think?
But that's the movie. This is like basically debating the end of Inception, except that's also been confirmed. But like, the whole point is that you're not 100% sure. but the movie really wants you to question it. But yeah, I also just really love the whole like they very clearly took it from Heat. But Denzel and like the way that he remembers like the victims and things like that, and his like kind of visions that he has of them. You cannot convince me they didn't pull that from the scene in Heat where De Niro and Pacino are having dinner together, and Pacino tells him about his dream that he has where he's sitting at a dinner table with all of the victims of the murders he worked, and they're all like fucked up and bloated and decrepit, and they're all just looking at him. But anyways, I like this movie a lot. I love the vibe of this movie. I think it's a fairly, it does a really good job of like showing the pressures that a lot of departments put on homicide detectives to solve cases, which is why you have a lot of people falsely imprisoned for murder, is because they put, in my opinion, too much pressure because they don't want the heat from the media or from the family for unsolved murders. And so I see that a lot in my job, and not necessarily false imprisons, but I don't work murder cases, so who knows. It's a good movie. I don't understand why people don't like it.
I don't understand either.
And then my number 2 was a Zemeckis from earlier, which is 7.
Number.
Yeah.
Neither of us puts. Well, you may have Psycho on your list.
Oh, like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho? Yeah. You know, I thought about that one, and that was another one where it's like, I could have taken the time to read it, but it's like, how many people did he kill? Like, I don't remember the backstory of the character enough. So it's like,
he didn't kill him.
I know there's, okay, but do we know that from the movie, or do we know that because of like the other Norman Bates stuff that we've got?
No, the movie.
Because he kills Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
His mom.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. No, his mom, too. His mom. Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. The, detective snooping around, private investigator. That's 3 right there.
Yeah, but I just have a hard time calling... I mean, is he a serial killer? Probably. But it's like... Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a different circumstance.
And if you look at Psycho 2 and 3...
I really thought about it.
People.
I really thought about it, but I let it go. Anyways, 7. It's a great movie. It feels very of its time. Like, the suits that they're fucking wearing, like, the way it's shot. And I love that about that movie. And, again, you have 2 incredible actors just cooking, doing their thing. You have another guy who's been canceled, but is also, whether you like it or not, a really fucking good actor.
Am I lying?
Playing a great villain. The twist at the end, everybody should know it by now, is a head in the box. It's Brad Pitt's wife. That's what's in the box. But really, like, the whole plan kind of coming to fruition. It's like the movie makes it very clear, semi early on, oh, this guy's killings are imitating the 7 deadly sins. But the way that it wraps that whole thing up, I think is done incredibly well. I think it's a phenomenal movie. And happy to have it above all the other movies on my list, except my number 1. Your number 1's Zemeckis from earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he said... I'm not even going to say how I feel about what you said. I'm just going to use this clip.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did have 7 on your list. I forgot.
Yeah.
You also get to talk about it.
I want to use this clip instead.
Yeah.
Well spoken, sir.
So this is top 5 favorite serial killer movies. We only do favorites. If you couldn't tell, if you ever seen us in a topical video, top 5, we say it all the time. Favorites. American Psycho is my number 1. I love the wackiness, the creepiness of Patrick Bateman's character. The dialogue in this is hilarious. It's a dark comedy, and I love dark comedies. The murdering is, oh, did he murder, did he not? That's a cool little twist. It's something to chew on a little while, but this movie's fucking hilarious. And that's why I like it so much. You have top 5 greatest ever serial killer performances with Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale playing Patrick Bateman, and phenomenal dialogue. So I love it.
I'm so fucking tired of this movie.
Like the beginning, perfect. It makes you just like understand this dude is a disciplined psycho. He is like a different type of psychopath than you're usually seeing. Like he's no Pee Wee Gaskins or someone like that. He's more of your Ted Bundy-esque. He is a well put together, hidden serial killer,
or is he?
Or is he?
Yeah, man.
As much as you dislike this movie, I'm surprised it made your list.
Well, okay, I can acknowledge that it's a well-made movie. Here's my issues with this movie. One, people give Fight Club a lot of shit for being this like film bro movie. No, I'm not saying it's not. If you want to give a movie shit for being a film bro movie, then you need to be directing all of your attention to American Psycho.
They're both film bro movies.
Not
that,
but this
Fiction.
one infinitely more. Like it has a completely different vibe. Like Fight Club is at least interesting. They both have like fairly similar anti-capitalism messages, but it's like, dude, okay, so first of all, it's like that's not profound to me. Like if you give me any movie now that's like an anti-capitalist message, I'm going to be like, yeah, we get it. Every form of government or economy is bad because of the people running it. They're all good in theory. Every single form of government or economy, maybe other than dictatorships, is like good in theory. But you're never not going to have a greedy person in charge, so they're all bad. And that's the world we live in. So quit complaining about whichever one your country has. It would be just as bad if it was a different one. So I'm kind of tired of that. I feel the same way about Civil War. I really like that movie, but it's like, yeah, war is bad. Like,
I love that movie.
We know that. War's like, we get it. Did anyone not know that? Is there anyone who didn't know that war is bad and that war can be a vehicle for really fucked up people to get away with heinous crimes? Or that war can desensitize people to violence? Or that war is something that the media is just going to use as a spectacle to further their own gains? That's not new. Like, you guys didn't know that?
But he did it better than anyone else.
I agree. I love the movie. It's a really good movie. It's just like, in terms of the message, duh. Like, no shit. And so, I don't love American Psycho that much for that reason.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Did you know that he had Willem Dafoe do 3 different takes of the interrogation scene? One where he knew he was the killer, and one where he didn't know he was the killer, and one where he only suspected him of being the killer, and then they spliced the 3 takes together to keep the audience guessing. I knew that. You know how I knew that? Because I see that fucking Instagram reel 6 times a day. It's like, I'm so tired of this movie. It's not that good. I didn't think it was funny at all. I did acknowledge early on that it was a dark comedy, and a lot of people don't treat it like a dark comedy, but it very much so is. Outside of that, it is a really good performance. It is a very well-made movie, and so it deserves a certain level of props, just not the props that it gets.
I did not know that.
What?
They spliced.
You didn't know that? Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, well, yes. They filmed 3 different takes with Willem Dafoe questioning him.
I believed you. You don't have to repeat it.
Well, I didn't,
That's smart.
It is smart.
Yeah.
It's like incredible filmmaking. But that's what I'm talking about. People just like can't get over that. And I'm like, okay, a really cool decision was made. That is like, he's a creative. He's a director. That's what directors do. Like, I love hearing about that stuff. But it's like, after I've heard about it the 5 fucking billionth time, it's like, I'm tired of hearing about that. Like,
my lady friend bought me a...
Did you know that in 1917, when he trips, it was a goof, but they left it in the film?
Yeah, I know that one.
How many times?
My lady friend bought me an American Psycho toy.
Is it a butt plug?
Why would it be a fucking butt plug?
Because that's what I think that people who love that movie would want. Anyways,
I don't even know how to respond to that. It's
my
so
number,
random and
I just
weird.
why isn't okay? My number one's Zodiac. Why isn't Zodiac on your list? This makes
'Cause it's
no
favorites.
sense to me. You don't that
It's not one of my favorites.
you
no.
like all of those other movies more than you like Zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
That's mind blowing to me. This movie's fucking incredible.
Now, if we're talking about top 5 best serial killer movie scenes, basement scene's number 1.
This whole movie is incredible. First of all, I would really love to see more movies with Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo all in them together because those three together just work really well for me. When I watch a serial killer movie, this is the vibe I want. It doesn't have to be directed by David Fincher. I would prefer that it be directed by David Fincher, but like this is the vibe that I want. Like, and I want more of a like the hunt for the serial killer than I really care about seeing the killings. Seven does a really good job of blending the two and seeing the way that people died in that movie is important to its plot because of it being the Seven. But yeah, this movie is absolutely incredible. You get incredible performances, you get incredible intention. I will again admit it is a touch long. It didn't have to be, but man, I just really love this movie, and I love the way that it ends. And I love that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is just a cartoonist, but he's really smart, so he's like deciphering these fucking codes that this bitch is sending him. But yeah, beginning to end, I love this movie a lot. And it's so creepy, but it's like the perfect amount of creepy. And objectively, like, not talking favorites, top to bottom, I think it's the best made film on either of our lists.
True Detective Season 1, does that count as a serial killer?
So it is, but it's not a movie. I was talking to Ann about it. I was like, I wish that was a movie because I would love to put that on my list because that is just incredible.
I'm so glad you watched that.
It's
finally.
so freaking good. But yes, I would definitely call that a serial killer.
I think it's the best performance in any genre of entertainment. It is Matthew McConaughey in True Detective Season 1.
He's pretty dang good. Pretty good. But I also said that I feel like Zodiac, out of all the movies, all the serial killer movies I could think of, Zodiac is the closest in like vibe and overall tone to Season 1 of True Detective. Closest. I will still say True Detective Season 1 is better. But
I see where you're coming from. But let us know in the comment section down below your top 5 favorite serial killer movies. Did we miss any? Probably so. There's a bunch out there. There's some that, again, this is favorites. So, like, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. You probably haven't seen that.
yeah, the other one I was thinking of, technically, Last Night in Soho is a serial killer movie.
Technically, it is.
Yeah.
Those
I
films,
wish I had thought about that.
creepy as fuck. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Why would I want to watch that? That is a very disturbing film.
That shit is gross.
So we might have missed some. Your taste is different. Obviously, our taste was different. He likes the cop's perspective. I'm more of the killer's perspective.
Yeah.
But let us know
What does that say about you?
your top 5 favorite serial killer movies in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a